Okay.
Cool. I'm in. Thank you.
Two. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Yeah. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Good. How are y'all doing out there? Good. Good to hear it. Nice to have you here today. So I think we're all locals here, but if we have some new friends online, my name is Reverend Michael McMorrow. I'm the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California, where life is good. You should live here. All right. There's no hurricanes. Yeah. So let's just take a moment. Well, first of all, let's introduce our presider this morning, Reverend Elizabeth Schneider. Yes. Thank you. And let's just take a moment to meet and greet each other, and we'll get underway.
1, 2, 3.
Come for the church and stay for the hugs. Maybe. for those who like such things. All right, so we've battened down the hatches in the back there. Let's all take a deep, conscious breath, allowing ourselves to use the breath to anchor ourselves in this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Elizabeth lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives and for the space we hold for them here at our center. And as Reverend Elizabeth lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
As I speak my word in the first person for each and every person here, as I declare there is one power, one presence, one intelligence in the universe which surrounds me and expresses through me, for me, and as me. And I know that my supply, my health, my prosperity, my abundance, my fulfillment in life come to me as I believe and as I allow the divine power within me to outpicture the objective manifestations of my mental equivalents. I create, see, and send out those mental equivalents of love, success, prosperity, abundance, radiant good health, happiness, personal fulfillment, and more. With love in my heart and mind, I manifest my dreams. And I declare here and now today that I have everything necessary for the full and complete expression of the most boundless experience of joy. A seed of thought that I plant in infinite mind comes up and bears fruit. And I release all worry, all doubt, all fear, and create the mental equivalent of stepping forward in life. And in so doing, I move forward with joy, confidence, ease, and determination. And I radiate life. I am life. There is one life. That life is my life now. And I open the portals of my soul to gratefully receive and give thanks for all this good and more that I can enjoy. And I release my word into the law of mind, knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. Together we say, and so it is. So good morning, everyone. I heard there was supposed to be some kind of, I don't know, sudden thunderstorms and flood watches, and I don't see any of that. I see beautiful sunshine outside. So recently, as I approach the beginning of my 8th decade on this earth plane, I've been seeking tips on how to optimize my mind, body, and spiritual health. And I came across this subject of biohacking. I was intrigued by it. It basically uses systems thinking, science, biology, and self-experimentation to take control of and upgrade one's body, mind, and one's life itself. And a leading proponent is a guy named Dave Asprey. He wrote the books, The Bulletproof Diet and Headstrong. Now he's gained quite a following on the internet and elsewhere in the biohacking sphere. And he documents the experiences that he has trying to make himself an optimal human being. So with biohacking, we can hack our age by changing our mindset about inevitable decline. We can hack our brain to make it smarter, faster, sharper, more energetic through good health habits, hormone levels, gut health, and techniques inspired by neuroscience. The choices we make every day, and we know this, can have big positive effects. Breathing techniques, cold therapy, jump in ice water, end of your shower, turn on 60 seconds of ice cold water. Sound great? Meditation, power poses, we've learned those, right? I'm a winner. Wonder Woman. Laughter, quitting alcohol, reading books. Now, I love to do that. Practicing gratitude, we've learned that here. Changing our light bulbs, believe it or not. LED light bulbs, fluorescent light bulbs, not good. Filtering out blue light from our computers, wear special glasses. Ground ourselves by walking barefoot on the grass. Outside. Rebound 3 to 5 minutes a day. Spend a few minutes in sunlight. I tried that, 10 minutes, I got sunburned, I mean, really. But a number of his recommendations are pretty simple. They're free, they've been around for quite a while, and the thing is to do them consistently. Now, we can hack our diet. He has a special diet, mostly paleo, which this impacts our energy level, mood, eyesight, brain functioning. We can hack our abilities to get bigger jumps in proficiency. Again, using mindfulness and simply thinking differently. We can hack our higher self. That one interested me. By reducing stress with heart math, intention, quality of sleep, breathing, meditation, yoga, and Qigong. I mean, there's something missing there. But he also promotes his own products, and he recommends bulletproof coffee. Now, that's a special coffee that is mixed up with pastured butter. It has to be butter from pastured cows. And then a special oil made from coconut oil, MCT oil. And there are even cafes in Santa Monica and LA where you can get this coffee. And supposedly it has great benefits, although frankly, my stomach spazzes just thinking about it. But I did get some pastured butter, so I can try it at home in safety. There's a conference coming up, the Bulletproof Conference in Pasadena in October, and they even have Bulletproof Coach training. So you can teach these fundamentals to others. So they can transform their inner and outer environments to reach full potential and create the life they desire. Does something here sound familiar? I mean, it should. I was reminded as I was reading through this that what we learn in science of mind and through spiritual mind treatment, that Ernest Holmes was probably a very early biohacker. writing back there in 1926. I mean, people came in droves to hear him speak, just like this Dave Asper gathers droves to hear him speak at conferences. But Holmes, he didn't have neuroscience to back up his philosophy. But science of mind and spiritual mind treatment, well, they have been shifting and lifting our consciousness into a new way of being for several generations now. An advantage that science of minders have, seeking the bulletproof life, is knowing that we are spirit having a human experience, and that gives us that extra zap of power to reach our full potential and live our best lives here and now. And so it is.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning. Please welcome David Olivas on keys and sax today. All right, David. And special guest on upright bass, Mr. Jordan Richards. So we are very lucky to have our friend. She has not been here in about 5 years, but she's just wonderful. You're going to love her. Please welcome Ms. Mary Jo Mundy.
I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, gonna be bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of my bad feelings have disappeared. There is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, gonna be bright, sunshiny day. Just look all around, nothing but blue skies. Just look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Right there, come on now. Just look all around, nothing but blue skies. Just look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, gonna be bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Yes? Oh, good morning, everybody. Beloved community, it's wonderful to be here, wonderful to see you. And I'm proud of us because we're consciously giving more and more all the time, and that is really a great thing. I just want to say, I don't know if Reverend Mike announced it last week when I wasn't here, but the Energy of Money class generated a ton of money for this community. So thank you, Maureen, for your facilitating that. And I think the rest of us have kind of slipped into that conscious mode of giving more and more, and that's really great. So thank you all for that. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. I had a lot of coffee today. Woo. So I am going to make some announcements. First of all, these announcements. Okay, today we have the Healing Support Group. Yeah, these were from last week. I almost did those. Oh, perfect. Okay. I'm going to come back to that one if you don't mind. Today at 1 o'clock in the back room is our wonderful healing support group facilitated by practitioner Suzanne Jensen, who's doing High Watch right now. It's a wonderful place of allowing the truth to be revealed. It's sacred and quiet and loving and compassionate, and if there's an area in your life that you would like to experience more truth being present, come hang out in that room at that time. Wednesday, September 13th at 9:30 a.m., this wonderful Sangha community is beginning. So if you haven't participated in that, the invitation is open to you to come join Sangha. Wednesday, September 13th at 6 p.m. is Visioning with Reverend Mike, visioning for this community, for this center. And Wednesday, September 13th at 7 p.m. is the Wednesday night healing meditation service. That is a wonderful place of quiet and meditation, and please come support that as well. September 27th at 7 p.m., we're having back to join us Guru Rama Mataji is going to be visiting the center. She's a storyteller. She tells wonderful stories, and it's a wonderful evening. I don't see it on here, but we have a wonderful class that's beginning on September 18th will be the orientation, and then for 7 weeks or 8 weeks after that, Christine, just stand up so people can see your grace and beauty. Christine is going to be facilitating, there it is, a mindfulness training for us. That's going to be a wonderful activity. The first week is going to be an orientation to the course, and then following those weeks is the course itself. So please come out and support that. That's going to be fantastic. What's next? Oh, big sale in the bookstore today, 20% off of everything. We're going to be revamping the bookstore. So come if you need little things or big things, come check out the bookstore after service. And Self-Mastery, the Science of Mind accredited class is going to begin on September 18th, September 19th, Tuesday nights, facilitated by our own Reverend Mike McMorrow. And that was always my favorite class. Self-Mastery was one of my favorite classes. Now, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask Barbara Harrison to come up for just one moment, please, and let us love you. Barbara has been a loyal and devoted and selfless giving member of this community for years, 30 plus years. 37 years. And she's moving. This is her last Sunday here. She's moving to Texas to be closer to her brother. And we're having cake after this service this morning to honor her leaving. But I was hoping that you would all indulge me in a blessing for her. So I'm going to ask you to please stand. And let us rub our hands together and allow the love that fills our heart to flow through our arms and our hands in Barbara's direction. And I'm going to invite you to repeat after me. Barbara Harrison.
Barbara Harrison.
We love you.
We love you.
We deeply appreciate you.
We deeply appreciate you.
We thank you for your selfless years of dedication and service.
We thank you for your selfless years of dedication and service.
We bless you as you begin this next leg of your eternal journey.
We bless you as you begin this next leg of your eternal journey.
We know that you go in divine health.
We know that you go in divine health.
Perfect peace.
Perfect peace.
Infinite joy.
Infinite joy.
Abundance and prosperity.
Abundance and prosperity.
And we know that the desires of your heart.
We know the desires of your heart.
And the intentions of your soul.
And the intentions of your soul.
Are fulfilled now and forevermore.
Are fulfilled now.
We will deeply miss you, Barbara.
We will deeply miss you, Barbara.
Blessings and love.
Yeah.
So please join us after church for cake so we can each say our individual goodbyes to Barbara. Thank you. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Barbara. We're going to miss you. If you would stand, please, we're going to do our Declaration of Principles. It's in your program, and it's up here. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe our faith operates upon the law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, in the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My mind is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My soul is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My mind is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My soul is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. My soul is ready to receive.
Barbara, don't go. Yeah, man. 37 years, huh? That's a lot of religion. Yeah. So, you know, it kind of illustrates how one simple practice can change a whole community over time. Right? I mean, who would think that by going to church 3 or 4 times a week, more times like 4 times a week, or 4 times a month, 52 times a year, could change a community, and yet it has. So thank you for your years of service, and on the board of trustees, and certainly facilitating a smooth transition when I took over from Dr. Maureen, along with Marlene at the time, and Reverend Nancy. So Nancy, if you're watching online, you just got a promotion. So anyway, so thank you. And let's thank Mary Jo one more time. Yeah, nicely done. And she did not bring any CDs, but you can find her on iTunes. So support her. And I've had one of her CDs and enjoyed it for several years now. So, and this has been a month of life's in session for me. I know when I think about all that has transpired in September, outside of just the crazy political stuff, but how about just triple-digit heat? I mean, gosh, that seemed like it was never going to end. I really thought I was living on hell's half acre. So we had the triple-digit heat, and we had the wildfires, and then we have friends and family in Texas and now Florida who are being pummeled by hurricanes. You know, thank God climate change isn't real and hurricanes are fake news. So let's just know around that everyone is safe, right? So I heard from John Canizaro. He's fine. My friend Gretchen lives in an apartment building that, can you imagine this? She lives on the 4th floor. The 2 bottom floors were flooded in Houston. Yeah. That my brother Joe is in Orlando. They're doing all right. They're hunkered down. And Bob Luckin, Bob and Judith Luckin, they're well named because they lucked out, and the the hurricane went around to the other side of the state, thank God. So they're doing all right. He said the worst thing about the whole deal right now is that they have no coffee. So, but you'd have to know Bob. So I'm sure, yeah. So, and then we have a devastating earthquake in Mexico City, right? And horrible flooding in Bangladesh among the poorest and most vulnerable people on the planet. We also have LA City firemen headed to the east to help out. So Hilda, Franco's husband, Sergio, is headed out this week. So we just know safe journey for him and for all fire crews everywhere. And for our friend Kent, right, our bass player Kent, that we know for him and his family that they are being held in the very heart of the Spirit right now. That Kitty's cousin who made her transition this week, yeah, it's going on. So Kitty's cousin made her transition this week. I presided over memorial service. I got a call on Thursday, presided over memorial service yesterday for someone who died unexpectedly. She was only 53. So lots of family and friends around that. People working through family stuff, people trying to get and stay sober. And the condensate line on the air conditioning went out last week, and that was leaking in here. We had to deal with that. And Barbara leaves today. All I can say is thank God Reverend Nancy's coming back this week. So life's in session. Life's in session. And what does it all mean? Right? So if you want to smear that horse apple with another dollop, just put all that political stuff on top of that. What's it all mean? We talk about our thinking creates our reality. How does that square with this stuff? And I think really what we have to understand is that all of it is a cosmic or divine wake-up call for us to remember, or for some people to realize, maybe for the first time, that we really are all in this together. We're all in this together. You know, the Cajun Navy wasn't paying heed to race last week, or what side of town do you come from. It was, get in the boat and let's get out of here. Right? So then post-Harvey, post-Irma, post-wildfires, post-earthquake. Now this is where the real work is going to begin, yeah? Post-funeral, post-layoff, post-rehab, post-divorce is when the work begins. Right? That other stuff is painful. No getting around it. But now, we want to do what? Change our thinking and change our life. The expression of our life, which is really the expression of the divine, expressing as each one of us. Even, and maybe even especially, the seemingly calamitous things are really an opportunity for the divine, speaking for myself, for me to finally be willing, oftentimes, to let the divine have its way. So if I'm going to open myself up to this idea of the divine as something huge and magical and wonderful and has all power, infinite, in fact, infinite power, infinite intelligence, then why not invite it into the game? Right? Instead of, I got this, and doing the Heisman on God. I got this, right? This doesn't serve us. You know what the Heisman is, right? It's football season, you guys. Come on. Heisman. Football. No. Seahawks. 1:15 today. Green Bay. All right. Okay. So what I know about all this is that it can be overwhelming for me. Maybe for you not. But for me, I think it is overwhelming. Right? First, it's alarming. I look at it first with alarm, and then I move into compassion. Because what can one person do? One person do. So we have to know that we can see clearly now. The rain has come. So I got this double rainbow. I didn't know she was doing that song. Right? We can see all obstacles in our way. We have clarity. Gone are the dark clouds, our old thinking that came before. It's going to be a bright, sunny day. Did anybody see the electrical storm last night, by the way? You were up there living in it, weren't you, Deb? Oh, my gosh. It was like Emerson, Lake, and Palmer on steroids. Yeah, it was a light show. Yeah, I just dated myself, I can see. So, Reverend C.C. Coltrane writes this, that every spiritual tradition tells us to commit ourselves to do everything for the good of the greater whole. So when we see these things going on, whether it's out in the macro world or whether it's like right in our own lap, right within our own home, within our own, right where we're working, right, that it's for us to know that that all of this is here for us to transform it and to know that the greater good is longing to come forth and that it's in there. It's like the old joke, right, that there's a pony in that pile of manure somewhere. So Ernest Holmes, so one of the things that we can do, I just wanted to point this out. I threw this in here because Last week they were putting packages together for first responders at Harvey. I imagine they're going to be doing the same for Irma. So if you're looking for something to do, right? Like sometimes it's just good to show up and just do, right? To be accountable, to bring our energy, to bring our back into things. So Operation Gratitude, you can find them online. They're right over here. They're just west of DeSoto. They're open from 9 to 4, but check in with them first before you head over there. We can go to we can sign up for Dorothy Day, which is feeding the homeless. Right? It seems like little things, right? A little thing like going to church every Sunday for 37 years. And yet, you are here. Almost every one of you is here because of that commitment. Right? Who else has been here for 37 years? One person. John Sparks in the first service. Less than 5. I think that's amazing. Because we don't really think about our lives, I think, in that way. It's like that movie Contact, small moves. Right? It takes small moves to tune in. And so when we feel like we're on overwhelm and what's next, Ernest Holmes says that it's quite a burden lifted when we realize that we do not have to move the world. We do not have to move the world because it's going to move anyway. I love Holmes when he's practical, right? And this realization does not lessen our duty. So he doesn't speak about this stuff a lot, but he does here. This does not lessen our duty or social obligation. It clarifies it. It enables us to do joyously and free from morbidity that which we should do in the social state. Now, what does he mean when he says free from morbidity? Okay? So if you think about other denominational paradigms, you do these things for the big payoff so that you don't end up in the hot spot, right? So you don't end up in hell. So you serve in these ways. In fact, in the tradition I grew up in, you could get days off from purgatory for doing good deeds in the form of indulgences. Yeah. So when you said the prayer to the crucifix, that was worth like 300 days off in purgatory. That's a pretty good deal. All right, but that's the free of morbidity thing. We're not holding that. We're knowing that God is good all the time. That we are the living emanation of Spirit itself. That everything we do has the potential of doing good in the greatest good, in the greatest way. And that we are on an unfolding trajectory where what we did yesterday builds on what we're going to do today and tomorrow as well. So in this way, we move from good to greater good. By doing what? By first doing our own work. So Holmes realized that each of us is part of a unity, and that if the unity is compromised, so are we as individualizations of that unity. In other words, when one of us is down, then all of us are lessened. So it's really in our self-interest to raise others with us, regardless of what's going on within the conditions of our own life. There is still that call to raise our consciousness, to shift and lift the tendency of our thought to a higher vibrational state, a higher vision for our life, to a higher way of knowing our life, to a higher, more dynamic thought that has a creativity and a dynamism to it. That we become willing then to step fully and completely into knowing that. And to knowing that Our thought creates our reality, that we keep our mind straight, that our prayer works. It has an impact on things, that our meditation works, and that it counts, that you count. Your practice counts. In spite of what you may think of it, it counts. So one of the ways that you can serve, of course, is to get into class and learn more stuff. About who? About yourself. So there's two very powerful classes. Self-mastery is an important class. But I'm going to say, if you can only go to one of them and you do not have a meditation class, do yourself a favor and go to the mindfulness class. Right? The class is set up so that you can explore different ways. Right? So there's 7 billion people on the planet. There are 7 billion different ways to meditate. It's your gig, man. And so what I know, just reading the syllabus, that Christy is going to set the framework for us to have our own exploration in clever ways. So this is a great way if you have a friend who's like totally stressed out and doesn't know which end is up. It's mindfulness, not meditation. It's a little subversive, right? And it will be taught from the mindfulness perspective, so that those of us who don't have any hang-ups about the idea of God and meditation with spirit and so forth, but, you know, we will find out, because I'm taking the class. Are you still taking it? Stephanie and I are going to take the class together. That should be worth the price of admission right there. Yeah? Because I want to step up my practice. We want to step up our practice together. See what happens in that dynamic. So, if you can only pick one, check that one out. Otherwise, I'll see you on Tuesday, which, by the way, is for fun and for free. Sorta. You got to pay for the books. You got to pay the mothership $45 for registration. That goes to Denver. Right? And you have to pay for the classes you miss. So typically classes cost $20 a week. It's $30 if you miss one. And you better pay. Otherwise, those indulgences come into play. So, anyway, because why would we do these kinds of things? Well, we can think of all kinds of ways that this stuff doesn't work on our own. But the fact of the matter is that the world thinks that people like us are ninnies and fools. That we are, we're Pollyannas. That it's magical thinking. That the world will create and does create ways to separate and to dominate. The world succumbs to a prevailing way of thinking, which we call race consciousness or human race consciousness, that you have to make your own way in the world, that it's dog eat dog, that it's every man for himself, that they are taking your jobs, and that we must compete in the global economy against them. So that it's mano y mano, which turns into county versus county, or state versus state, or red versus blue, or state versus the nation, or the nation versus the world. This is what duality looks like, man. It's some sick stuff. It's sick. It's not logical, is it? And then, at the same time, we have opposing this, these images of people helping each other out in times of need that are totally uplifting and inspiring and heart-opening. And man, you just tear up watching the outpouring of love and compassion of people for their fellows. And so I guess the question then is, why must we create or wait until calamity befalls us before we learn that we are, all of us, in this together. And the truth behind that question is we don't. We don't have to. And so this is where this idea of mindfulness or meditation and spiritual mind treatment, envisioning for a different way that the world can be, becomes so important. Because all of this is a conscious unity of spirit in expression. That the only thing that is required is that we, as a human family, must wake up. Now, it'd be great if people just practice the religions they say they aspire to. Right? But barring that, how about let's just surrender to love? I don't think there's a human on the planet who doesn't understand that. Love. Because when it comes down to it, when we talk about the power and presence that is the power behind all religions, that's all we're talking about, man. We can overthink it with law and universal subjectivity and and steps of treatment, and we do this and the bump and zig and zag, but the fact of the matter is that if we love fully and completely, without any conditions, now that's the tricky one. Loving fully and completely for the sake of love itself, then, man, we are dancing with the divine, man. We are in the field. And it is given unto us before we even speak the word. We will see that our lives are supported on every level. And it's up to us as people who are conscious in this spiritual community to get out there and to live it. That we have to just get out there and do it. We have to be the love the world is waiting for. And it's waiting. It's making these ideas welcome. Because I think that what we're seeing going on out here is not only a call for us to come together, but also a recognition that the old ways are not working. We can't use the planet as a trash can anymore. We have to take care of the least among us if we're all going to prosper. We all have to know a greater reality and a greater truth for each other in order to raise our society. And we have to do the work within ourselves first. So I think basically we have to stop being afraid. So there was a Jewish guy, he worked all this out a long time ago, a couple thousand years ago, who said, as you give, it is given unto you. So it's not new. 65% of Americans say they buy into this, don't act like it sometimes. Over 1 billion people on the planet support this idea. I think it just comes down to fear. We're just afraid. I'll do it if they do it, kind of thing. But there was another Jewish guy who said, if not now, when? And if not me, who? So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. If not me, who? So let's call Mary Jo and the band up. We're going to take a big, deep, conscious breath. We're going to play around with this idea today as we keep holy the Sabbath. And knowing that real giving is the art of transmitting ourselves to others and to the conditions and situations that surround us. That this kind of giving is not something for special occasions only, for it should become a habit growing out of our desire to live life at the fullest extent. Only that which becomes an inward habit of thought can spontaneously flow from the heart and transmit itself to everything we touch. Just as life belongs to the one who lives it, the one who takes it, so the fuller life belongs only to the one who scatters the good they have. It is being given of oneself to every person, every project, every association with zest, love, and friendliness that one sees the larger possibilities of life, beauty instead of ugliness, love instead of hate, the divine hidden within the human. Thank you, Dr. Holmes.
If your whole life somehow wasn't much till now, and you've almost lost your will to live, long as there's breath in you, there is always one more time. And if your dreams go bad, everyone that you had, it don't mean that your dreams won't come true. 'Cause it's funny about dreams, just as strange as it seems, there is always one more time. Turning corners is only a state of mind. Keeping your eyes closed is worse than being blind. If there's a heart out there looking for someone to share, I don't care if it's been turned down time and again. If we meet one day, please don't walk away. There is always one more time. This band, you guys are so lucky. Oh my gosh, love them. Turning corners is only a state of mind. Keeping your eyes closed is worse than being blind. If your dreams go bad, everyone that you've had, it don't mean that your dreams won't come true. Because it's funny about dreams, just the way that it seems. There is always, there is always, there is so much. Thank you to the band. Thank you.
All right, it's Jordan Richards on bass.
Probably a good thing you're not like a foot taller. You know? Like, I don't know if we can handle it. A huge voice, yes? Let's give her some more love. Beautiful, thank you. All right, so as we prepare our gifts for the offering, I'm going to call our ushers forward, and Kent and the band will take us into our offering chant.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Oh, Spirit lives and breathes through me.
So going within for just a wee bit longer, recognizing and knowing that there is only one thing at work here, one power, one presence, one source, one life of God. So that we know that this power and presence is demonstrating through the gifts offered here this morning by means of the consciousness of giving, on which these gifts have been offered here this morning. So as we recognize and know that these gifts are a gift of the individual heart, we representing the heart of this spiritual community accept these gifts with deep appreciation, love, and respect, as we know together they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless the life and vision of each person here this morning, the vision and mission of this Center for Spiritual Living, and anyone connected to it in any way. that we extend this blessing and this knowing to our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them. And for our planet as well, that we know all of it is an outpicturing of the very mind of the divine itself. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it demonstrating in all ways, great and small. This lifts our heart, empowers us into ways of living that shift and lift our own consciousness, and we take others with us in that process. So we feel the sense of love and grace. We are grateful. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So please say good morning to lovely Rita and Miss Chloe. And come on in, kids. So while the kids are coming in, Margie is going to be manning a table. Speaking of being of service, we're using this month to recruit new folks for various aspects of being of service to the center here. And so check that out and see if there's a little niche that you want to sign up for. And if we get enough people, it's only one Sunday a month, yeah? So anyway, there's my little pitch. So look for Margie out there and find a way to serve. And 37 years later, okay, so who's our spokesperson today? We have 3 good-looking kids here today.
We have Sarah and Eliza. I think they're both going to talk.
Okay, come on, stand up. And bring your work. There we go. Oh, come up one more. The band won't bite. So your name is?
Jeliza.
And?
Sarah.
So what'd you guys do today?
We did our superperson projects, and my superperson was peace, to have peace in every one of you.
Nice, thank you. Did you want to add anything? No? Okay. Well, that's fine. That's great. Thank you. Would you like to add anything there, Miss Lissa?
Yeah, they have really great things. We talked about the fact that every one of us is a superhero, and we all have superhero powers. I don't think you can guess what mine is. But they did their secret symbol, and then they discussed how they could use their superpowers to help others. And we all got superhero training certificates because we've used our powers to help others, and affirmations.
Very nice. How was it, Aiden? You want to say anything? You're good? Good? All right. Good. All right. So sign-up sheets are out there. Let's invite our ministers and practitioners to circle the room. And Reverend Elizabeth will pray us out.
So, I love the music, by the way. You guys are so fabulous. So join me in consciousness, please, this morning as I speak my word in the first person for each and every person here. So I declare God is, I am an individualized expression of God in action here on this plane of consciousness. I am spirit having a human experience. And right here and right now today, I dedicate my time, my talent, my treasure, and my expertise to the healthy and joyful evolution of our spiritual community, the community in which I live, and the greater community of the world. As an expression of the divine in action, I accept that infinite intelligence into my life, into my experiences, as I move from alarm at the conditions in the wider world to the compassion and love for those in my personal arena. Free from morbidity, I do good in the world to ease the burdens as best I can, and know that my actions as well as my meditations and thoughts have impact for the greater good, as well as for my spiritual growth. I am uplifted and inspired as I envision a conscious unity in the world toward cooperation and love. I dance with the divine as I just do what is needed and revel in a vision of greater truth, of beauty and love for all humanity. And I gratefully receive and give thanks for all this good and more flowing into my experience. And I release my word into the law of mind, knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is.
Please stand for the peace song. Begin with me. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Saint Tropez.
Yeah.
One, 2, 3.